Like, shut up, Car.
Car's telling us
You know
what to do.
We are here with Abigail Leffler and Neil Oliver, our Mrs. Lovett, and or is it Mrs. Lovett?
Mrs.
It's
Lovett.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Lovett
Lovett.
and
We're
Sweeney
gonna
Todd.
Flip a coin each night and see
Yes.
what we do.
They got a 50-50 chance of either show, folks. A very different show than what we've been rehearsing, potentially.
We were actually joking last night that we should do Lily and Gavin's part of Kiss Me as Lily,
Yes.
or on this, as Lovett and Todd singing the song.
That add a very different dynamic to the show.
Yeah.
But these are the stars of Sweeney Todd at Newbern Civic Theater. Sweeney Todd, which is, I think it's one of those shows that even people who are not familiar with musical theater, they know this show because of the movie, because of the content. But in case they don't know, Abby, why don't you give us a quick rundown, or both of you can chime in. What is the brief rundown of the plot of Sweeney Todd?
I didn't know there would be a test today.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, it's about, why am I talking about your story? It's about a man.
This is Mrs. Lovett's story.
It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
guess so. But it's about a man who comes back from being wrongfully imprisoned, and he meets me along the way, and he tries to seek vengeance, and I aid in that.
And how does she aid in that, Sweeney?
Yeah, answer that one, Sween.
She cooks pies. She cooks pies for me.
How could cooking pies help Sweeney Todd?
Well, Sweeney has a problem. In his search for vengeance, he winds up sort of missing an opportunity potentially, and then sort of just goes a little crazy on all of humanity. And they hatch a plot where he really becomes this wonderfully murderous barber. And she disposes of the bodies by cooking them into what become incredibly popular fabulous meat pies.
And it's a musical. That's actually how I sold it to a friend when the movie came out back in the day and I wanted to see it. I told him the story and I beefed it up, and I was just kind of like, it's this guy and he's wrongfully imprisoned and now he's out and he wants to get revenge, and the only way he can is with the tools of his trade. His razor. My friend's just on the edge of his seat. And then I'm just like, so he's slitting people's throats and he's got a woman with him and they're cooking them in the pies to hide the bodies, and guess what? What? It's a musical. Because I knew if I led with a musical,
Tune out.
he wasn't. Yeah, he was going to tune completely
You
out.
make it sound almost as good as Cop Rock.
I was gonna say, it sounds like it's a 90s movie with like Steven Seagal or Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a man.
Yeah.
In a world, one man needs revenge, but the only tools he has
Is a
are razors and a meat pie.
I remember the first time I heard the soundtrack, which was just, 10, 12 years ago? I had no idea what Sweeney Todd was. I just recognized Angela Lansbury's voice, and hearing her talk about cooking people into meat pies, I was thoroughly disgusted, but fascinated that people could think of something so disgusting and then make money off of it.
Welcome to theater. It was one of the first musicals I ever saw, actually, when I was in college. We were in a huge musical theater program, and we would every now and then go to a regional theater and go see it, and it was actually Sweeney Todd. And I had this predisposition for musicals, like your friend. I just wrinkled my nose at them. And that's the first one I remember really loving and really investing in. And so this is why I kind of auditioned.
And the thing that I love about it is dark. It's got some gory stuff to it, but it's funny.
It's funny.
It's very funny. It's dark humor. And what's it like playing Sweeney?
Like home. No, it's,
When you said Sweeney has some problems, it
Yes.
clued in. Oh, now I know why Neil Oliver was cast.
Typecast. It is a role that I've wanted to play since I first saw the show. There are not a lot of roles for baritones. It's far too young at the time. I first heard it at ECU in my early 20s. So it's wonderful to now be at a point in my life where I can really, to some degree, understand what Sweeney has gone through, being married, having children, and sort of being somewhat in a similar position in that respect as Sweeney. So it's fun to sort of try to crawl into what might be in his brain and try it on and work it on stage. So it's a really fun role. It's a very challenging role. Sondheim writes very difficult music, the composer for the show. So it really keeps you on your toes, which is very exciting. Abby does a wonderful job of keeping me off balance as well. So it's
That's not on purpose.
but it's a really good cast of wonderful people, and we've had a wonderful time in the process. And that's so much of what community theater is about, is coming together and exploring all those options and opportunities, and then presenting what we've discovered as our version of Sweeney Todd. So great role, and having a lot of fun doing it with all these wonderful people.
It's always nice for me putting together a show. I'm directing the show, by the way. And
No.
Are you really?
but well, no. What I like is I like when we're at the point now. We're in Hell Week right now, the final week. We open on Friday, and I like being able to look at the stage and being able to pinpoint all the different contributions that have been done to a production. I can see little bits. It's like, okay, that was my little sliver of an idea, but then this person added this here, and it all adds up to becoming what it always needed to be. The show that it always needed to be. And that's the part of community theater that I enjoy, is it's a collaborative artistic process unlike almost any other. Because we're all just kind of working in our spare time trying to make this thing come together, and I'm very pleased with the process that's happened. What are some of the challenges of this production? Is it just the music, or are there other parts of the process for this production?
It is deceptively difficult from a technical perspective, with all of the moving parts and pieces. With the stage, if you come see it, you will certainly see what we're talking about. There's a lot to keep in your head while you're singing and killing people. There are opportunities for real danger in this one, like we've not seen in a few others. So that's a really interesting aspect to this. But the effects are wonderful. They look great, and it's been a lot of fun to work with all the different folks that I get to assassinate throughout the show.
Yes, I try not to give away too many specifics of what we're doing with the set, but the set literally has a lot of moving pieces that occur. And I'll just leave it at that. You will want to see the show for the technical marvel. Neil here has been also helping out behind the scenes, getting the set together, and we've had a wonderful set crew behind the scenes. Cliff Nielsen, too many people to name, so I'm not even going to try to. But come see the show, read the program. They're all there, and they're all magnificent.
Right.
Abby, what has the process been like for you as somebody who didn't enjoy musical theater initially, and now here you are, one of the most iconic roles?
No pressure. What I discovered when I first started this was it was the music aspect. I've been trained musically, but not musical theater, and so working with Tyler and learning that when you get up there, it's not just about singing the pretty notes, especially for Love It. I mean, Sweeney gets the pretty notes, I guess, and I just get to just do whatever is necessary, and to learn that it's more than just getting up there and singing the pretty notes, which is what, when you're musically trained, that's what you learn. But for musical theater, it's not like that, and that's something huge I had to learn for this process in terms of my acting journey, and because Love It's a character. It's for a character actor, and while I'm familiar with character actors and discovering the vocals and the physicality for an actor, incorporating that with my musical side has been a little jarring in terms of this one. I've done musicals for New Bern Civic Theater before, but it's never been like this person, like Love It. So that's where I've been practicing in my car looking like a crazy person on my way to rehearsal, because I needed to learn those different dynamics and stuff.
Right. The show is sponsored by the law offices of Oliver and Cheek, and this Friday they are collaborating with Bebop's Cafe. At intermission, they have a nice, yummy treat for our guests. But George Oliver, we're seeing him and Michelle Royce in roles that we're not accustomed to. I got to watch the rehearsal last night and seeing George Oliver as the judge, when I'm used to seeing him being goofy and dancing around and doing cartwheels on stage. This is a side we're not used to seeing. And then, of course, Michelle Royce, our beloved Mary Poppins.
Ain't Mary Poppins anymore.
Not Mary Poppins anymore.
Mary Poppins fell on some hard days, face first.
When we were Daniel and I were watching the show, and I turned around and there she is sitting in the audience, and it freaked me out, and then it made me laugh. Because again, it's not how we're used to seeing Michelle Royce. So
We've got a very talented cast of folks.
Very
Michelle
much
Royce
so.
as the beggar woman, George Oliver as Judge Turpin, Derek Jordan as the Beetle, Peyton Jenkins as Pirelli, Gavin Sheehan as Anthony, and Lily Krill as Joanna. Just a wonderful cast of folks. That's a little bit from Sweeney and Lovett right there from last night. A very tender moment, as you can tell by the lighting and the
look like you're about to
expression.
eat me.
There's a lot of emotion. There's a little peek at our set right there, which we've got in place, and the lighting that is happening. But it is just a marvel of a show. We have all the technical pieces that are coming into place now. And so not only do we have marvelous voices, which we have spent
That's cool.
several months training and getting into place, but now we have the technical aspects coming into place to make it look the way it sounds, which is really key. And we've really tried to put an emphasis on the music at every stage and the sound when it comes to this production.
right, when you began, you started off with a music camp with Tyler Griffin because it's so difficult.
Yeah, it's most shows you kind of just slowly go into the water the way you go into the cold ocean at the beginning of the beach season. But in this one, we just dove right in at our music director's insistence. We did a 2-week intensive musical training because this show is basically an opera. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts. There's maybe about 3 minutes of like dialogue without music. And otherwise, it's all told through song. And there's no point in doing blocking or working through scenes if you don't know the music. And so we dove right into it. I mean, y'all tell me, was that a beneficial process?
I think so, for me
Yeah,
at least.
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree that was something necessary.
Yeah, this isn't standard sort of Happy or Rodgers and Hammerstein, your favorite musicals, where there's a break for a song. You know, I mean, it's Sondheim and some other more modern write musicals, so the song is actually part of the acting. There's really no break. It's not stepping outside of the character. The character inhabits the song,
Right.
Which makes it a lot more fun and challenging, like Abby was saying a little earlier. So it's I don't know that we could have done it otherwise
I don't
without
think so.
diving right in and learning the music first.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Abby and Neil are going to perform My Friends, which is from the show, and it's a little piece which is about Sweeney getting his razors back for the first time after 15 years and just being reunited with his bestest friends in the whole world.
You're
who will
welcome, by the way.
Yes.
So you will see how well-adjusted Sweeney is and still is returning to London after all these years. And there'll be no problems with that. All right, so come on back and we will take a listen to that. And we're back.
Sweeney Todd opens this Friday, and it is sponsored by the law offices of Oliver and Cheek. Opening night is almost completely gone, so do not wait to get your tickets. The box office will be open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. starting today through Friday. You can go online and check out all of the information on how you can get tickets. The show times, it runs for 3 weekends. You can visit newberncivictheater.org. Again, this is not a show you want to wait until the last minute to get your tickets.
No, I was going to say, go there.
Yes,
go there.
right there. Anyway, you can call the box office 633-0567, and we've got Abigail Leffler and Neil Oliver going to give us a taste of the show.
Soon I'll unfold you. Soon you'll know splendors you never have dreamed. All your days, my lucky friends, till now your shine was merely silver. Soon drip rubies, soon drip precious rubies. At last, my right arm is complete again.
And then the chorus joins in, and it's amazing! Yay! All right, that is Sweeney Todd again. Neil Oliver as Sweeney Todd, Abigail Leffler as Mrs. Lovett, the iconic show that you either know and love or you know all about and haven't seen yet. So you need to come down to New Bern Civic Theater, opening this Friday, May the 4th. We play for 3 weekends, 7:30 in the evenings, 2 o'clock matinee on the first 2 Sundays. You can call the box office 252-633-0567 or order your tickets online, newberncivictheater.org. Opening night is almost sold out. We literally have a handful of seats in the balcony, and that is it. And we intend to sell this puppy out, so get your tickets now. Thank y'all so much for coming out this morning and singing a song that complicated this early as well.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome. Thank y'all so much. Do not miss these amazing talents and all the others. Every voice a gem in this show.
It's going to be a great one.
Yes.
Great one. Don't wait.
All right. So, an ongoing joke that's been occurring behind the scenes of Sweeney. I think it was actually Phil Root's song, the very talented Phil Root song, and who is an ensemble and also plays the nefarious Mr. Fogg. And he brought up the idea of revamping the show,
How so?
changing all the music into a more jazzy lounge versions, and we call it Swingin' Todd. Swingin' Todd. These are my friends. See how they glisten.
Stupid.
See this one shine how he smiles in the night. My friends, my lucky friends. Just the whole song like that. These are the worst pies in London.
That is funny.
That'd be a lot. That would be a lot of fun. But no, this will be a really fun. It's going to be a really fun show. We're really looking forward to it. There we have. I also want to mention our backstage crew. We have a very talented backstage crew.
Working for their money. They are working for their money.
They don't know there's no money. Don't let them know. Don't let them know. Otherwise, they'll have nothing to work for. If you'll, Bob, if you'll get the picture of the cube, the set with the cube. I will reveal this. There's a lot about the set I'm not going to tell you about. You just have to come to see the show to see how it all works. But that cube there, as you can see, Sweeney Todd's shop is on the top of the cube. And the way that works is the cube actually rotates. Different sides do different things. And so we have a backstage crew that has been
4
working.
people.
And they've all been working just as hard as our actors and technicians on the cues for turning the cube, for getting it into specific positions. As you can see, for one of the songs right there, it's kind of a catty corner sort of a deal, not exactly facing head on. But they're working just as hard, and they are led by Cliff Nielsen, who is also our stage manager and our set construction chief, and Diana Doyle, who is our assistant stage manager. And so it takes a lot of people to make these shows work. We got Chris Pearson, who's doing the lights and just adding so much atmosphere to what's happening, but he was also assisted by Frank Eason and Daniel Rowan, who have come in, and on top of others as well that I'm sure I don't have the names of, and just coming in to create this atmosphere. It takes a community to put on these shows, to produce the sights and the sounds that you're going to see. And let me tell you right now, if you are sitting front row center of the show, there's the view you're going to get for some parts of the show at least, because that's exactly where I was.
Fantastic.
No zoom on that camera whatsoever. They are up in your face. And it is, like I said, I'm very proud that the sounds we've been working so hard to engineer these past couple months with the music, now we're having the visuals that are matching those.
Right, and the costumes are incredible.
Yes.
Several of the pieces have been custom made specifically for this production. The costume design is Jason Griffith, but we had Mary Ann Murphy and Janice Cox, who helped, who built all these costumes. That one right there was done by Janice.
Designed by Jason.
Just phenomenal artwork in the costumes that also help tell the story. And I think that's also something that, when you have the perfect components of lighting, set, acting, singing, blocking, costumes, when it all comes together, each part of the production is helping to tell the story and to feel the experience. And here's George Oliver as the judge. Like I said, it's a role we've not seen him do, and that was very surprising last night when I watched that.
There's a lot of very pleasant surprises. Gavin, who plays Anthony, the sailor.
Yes.
This is the first time he's taken on a lead role, and he has stepped up the plate. And it's just wonderful because you give him direction, he jumps on it.
Right.
Because he is so eager to be there and eager to have the opportunity. And it's just such a blessing to have people like him. And Lily, this is her first time in a lead, at least on our stage.
Right.
And so we've got a lot of great singers and a lot of great sounds. And I am very proud to be associated with the show. Very much.
Also, I do want to talk about, real quick, George Oliver's daughter, Abigail is playing
Oliver is Tobias.
Yes, she's
Yes.
playing Toby.
Exactly.
And
So
she's brilliant.
come see it this Friday.